Welcome to the Leading at the Next Level podcast, the podcast geared for your leadership journey. So like we've been doing for the last several weeks, I have the opportunity this morning to chat with an amazing person who is doing incredible things, not only in our community, in our state, but really the country, and she impacts other countries as well. So Wes and I have known Sabrina Dorman-Andrew for a few years. We've attended a few of her events, which is incredibly impactful. It's really something you can't forget. And over the past year, we've gotten to know Sabrina and her organization, New Creations, at a much deeper level, and we want to support her in any way we can. Sabrina is one of our executive panelists at the upcoming 2025 Leadership Legacy Experience with Dove Development and Consulting, happening June 13th at the Atlantic Union Bank Center in Harrisonburg. Sabrina is also the founder and executive director of New Creation and a corporate partner of the Leadership Legacy Experience. So Sabrina, thank you so much for carving out some time to be here with us today.
Thank you, Cindy. I am so grateful for you and Wes and the way that you have loved us and helped platform our mission.
Thank you so much. We're excited to have you. To start off, it would be awesome if you can share an overview with our listeners of your professional background and your experience in your industry.
Yeah. So what's interesting, before my husband and I founded New Creation, I didn't honestly have experience in the nonprofit world. I helped run business offices for a dental clinic, and then I also worked in physical therapy. And so I came from kind of the administrative side, and that was my background. What has been beautiful is the way that the things that I learned in that corporate setting, the way that those have shaped me as a leader now. And so even though I wasn't working in the nonprofit world, I learned a lot of lessons of how to work alongside people, how to develop a team, how to have a common goal, right? Like as a team. And so that is my background, is really insurance, billing, things that have very little to do with what I do now. But it's always cool how those experiences and the things that you learn, the lessons you learn, can really apply to any realm of where you end up.
Isn't that exciting, where you can take those skills and then continue building on them and really impact where you're at now?
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. And I had great leaders in those positions, particularly the job that I had when I was creating New Creation. My boss was incredible, and he was such a champion of the people who worked with him, and he never said for him. We worked with him. And so he really shaped me as a leader in a lot of ways. I'm not sure that he's aware of just how much that impacted my life in that season, but also as I've led this organization.
What a great example of leadership. And I can see those things coming through you. So that's
Thanks.
Fantastic. So what was your real clear purpose for accepting a role with leadership responsibility, and somewhere through our time here, even accepting the responsibility that you have now, that's not only leadership, but it's more of your purpose and what you're doing?
Yeah, so it's interesting because I ended up in leadership, I don't want to say by accident, but I really wasn't seeking it out. I became very passionate about the issue of human trafficking. I was very compelled that I had to do something, and I recognized very quickly that I could not do that something alone, right? I needed to bring people around me to work alongside me. This issue is so huge. And so when you recognize that, what that does is immediately put you in a position of building a team. And first, it was my board, building a team of board members that helped us lead and really lay the foundational purposes and principles and goals for New Creation. And then later, it really was me building a team around me here as our leadership team. I never really thought, I can't think of like, this is how I landed in leadership. It was that I was so purposefully driven towards the goal of counteracting human trafficking. And then somehow I looked around and I'm like, oh my gosh, we are leading with all these people, and not just, I think leadership too. I look at our board and our team, our volunteers. We've had interns. Those are all great, but we also get to lead alongside a lot of other nonprofits. We're very collaborative. And so I love that. I don't do anything alone. And I think that's what leadership, to me, like that's the most powerful thing. Recognizing what I can do by myself is very limited. when I can put people around me and tap into what they're passionate about and what they're good at. Because Cindy, there's a lot of things I'm not good at. Numbers being one of them, really figuring out how to build a strategic team around you to accomplish a common goal. And so, I don't have a very traditional path to leadership. I kind of landed here because I was passionate about the issue of trafficking and figuring out solutions to end it.
Wow, that's so powerful. And that's how a lot of leaders start. They have passion and purpose and they want to make a difference. I love hearing your energy when you talk about that.
Yeah,
So, but
thanks.
you have developed yourself as a leader. So what motivates you to get involved in leadership development and training?
Yeah, I mean, I think what has helped is I have an incredible board that's really pushed me in my personal development and leadership development. Last year, I had an incredible opportunity to have an executive coach, which was so life-giving, and she really challenged me a lot. And it really made me think, if I am I want to be the best that I can be. I want to show up as the best version of myself, and really finding opportunities that strengthen that and in my leadership. The other side that I think has developed even more is, how can I make sure the team that's leading alongside me is also developed? Because I think sometimes at the top, there's a lot of focus on your development and your growth and continuing to learn. And sometimes we forget we've got to bring our team, those who lead around us, up at that same level with us. So I've gotten very passionate about trying to find opportunities. We're very excited to work with you guys and have our team come to that one day incredible opportunity to learn and grow and be stretched. Like, those are the things that get me excited, because honestly, I hope that my team feels seen and loved when I see value in adding to their personal development, their professional development, that we as an organization are investing in our team. Our team is the way we execute our mission. And if we sacrifice them, our mission goes away, right? And so I see it as a way to love myself and my team. I see it as a way for us to just show up as the best version of ourselves. And honestly, I think it also shows the community, hey, this is a team that's continuing to grow. We want to be lifelong learners, and that gets people excited because that gets me excited if somebody is committed to always growing and learning and developing. Those are things I want to be a part of, and those are the initiatives that I want to get behind. So I think it's multifaceted why it's important to me and why I am committed to making sure our team continues to grow.
Yeah, thank you for that, Sabrina. What I hear you describing is that reproducing leaders, and that's where a lot of leaders in the 5 levels of leadership, that's the 4th level of leadership. And unfortunately, a lot of leaders stop at the production stage and they never go to reproducing their own leadership in others. So that's incredibly powerful in how we build a bench like you're describing. So we're going to switch gears here just a little bit and talk about not the leadership legacy experience so much, but really the executive panel that you have graciously accepted to be on, and we really appreciate that. But why were you willing to join us on that executive panel for the leadership legacy experience?
Yeah, well, I was really honored that you guys asked. I think one of the things I'm excited about is to talk about leadership that looks different, right? Like, I do not have any letters behind my name. I do not have a college degree. My path towards leadership looks different than a lot of people assume it has to look, right? And so I think what happens often is people get passionate, they feel called, but then they don't feel equipped, and they think that they are counted out, or they're not the chosen one, right? And so what I really want to share is, listen, if I can do it, anybody can do it. And there are a lot of paths to leadership. It doesn't have to look like this cookie cutter version. And so I'm excited to share about my imperfections and the fact that I still get the opportunity to lead. And that's really humbling. And I hope that sparks, even if one person that's at the Leadership Legacy experience, if one person sees, oh my gosh, if she can do it, I can too. And it stiffens their spine a little bit and gives them some boldness and there's some courage that rises up because they've seen that we've been able to do it at New Creation. That's really what I want to impart. Leadership has very little, I think, to do with like qualifications. I think it has more to do with our willingness to learn and our willingness to lead alongside others. And so, yeah, I'm very excited to talk about that part of my story.
Thank you. What an empowering message. I can't wait to hear more about it. John Maxwell says leadership is influence, nothing more, nothing less. So it's really about influence. It's not about position or what we, like you said, the letters behind your name. It's about how you positively influence others.
Yeah, I love that. And Cindy, it's interesting that you say influence because I think particularly in our social media driven world, right? We see influencers as a certain pocket of people, but every single person, we all have influence. And so when we can channel that influence in a positive way, it's really incredible to see the impact.
It is. So I want to talk about your organization some more. What would you like the community to know about your company that they may not know or likely don't know?
Yeah, so New Creation VA, we're a nonprofit that creatively counteracts human trafficking with a local heart and global approach. Most of the people in our community know about our shop, so that's how most people recognize they've shopped with us and they understand that the shop is really the engine. It creates jobs for those coming out of or vulnerable to trafficking around the world. What people don't often know is the other side of impact. And so New Creation, we're really passionate about the preventative piece of human trafficking. When I first got into the anti-trafficking movement, I noticed very quickly that few people were going upstream. So many people were focused on behind the issue. I'm a mom. I'm actually a mom of daughters. And I kept thinking, what I really want to do is make sure nobody is affected by this issue. How do we make sure less people become victims of human trafficking? And so when we started, in Virginia, where we're based, we didn't even have a human trafficking piece of legislation in our state. So we had a lot of work to do. So New Creation focuses a ton of our resources and efforts and energy on community awareness. So having conversations about what does trafficking look like? How is this happening? What are common laws? How can I, as an everyday citizen, be mobilized to make change? And we also work in middle schools and high schools up and down the valley. So we're actually in 8 different districts. So the thing that's been really powerful is we have seen the curriculum that we utilize and help fund. It's implemented county and citywide from Shenandoah County all the way to Stanton, Augusta, Waynesboro. And so we've educated over 15,000 students in our community. And it's powerful because, yes, we want to protect our students 100%. That is our heartbeat. The other thing that we want to make sure happens is that students move to be part of the solution to trafficking and not part of the issue. Because, the truth about human trafficking is it's supply and demand. It's a business, just like the business that I run here, on South Main Street. And so if we're not going after the demand and we're not having good conversations about how this is happening and we're not moving students toward the solution, it's hard to make impact. And so I want people to know when they shop with us, they're making impact in our city, in our community. They're also making impact in a survivor's life, likely in a country that they've never visited. And so it's a really beautiful thing that we get to bring to our community and invite people to be a part of.
Thank you for sharing that. I know you do so many successful projects and campaigns. I am so impressed with there's constantly creative options going on to support new creations. And that's just your business mindset. I just see that going, and I'm so impressed with the implementation of that too. But can you share a recent example of a successful campaign or project that your company has spearheaded and the impact around that?
Yeah, so we are actually currently in the center of a campaign to expand. And so one of the beautiful things is we're always multiplying, which I love, right? Like that's what you want your business and your nonprofit to do. What is hard is we're limited because of space. So we have a very small building. We bought a former pornography shop in our city very purposefully to have our headquarters in our shop, but it's a very small property, small building, but we own a full acre behind us. And so our vision is to have a multi-purpose barn, and it will house office space. It will house a warehouse. And what we're most excited about is we will open Virginia's first coffee shop and cafe that's a social enterprise, which means we really want to create dignified opportunities for women who are overcoming challenges like trafficking, domestic violence, aging out of the foster care system, incarceration. We want to make sure they have dignified opportunities, and that job isn't just a job. It also helps connect them to life training skills. And so this campaign, when we started, Cindy, it was a $1.5 million project. We have been fundraising to get to goal. When we hit goal, of course, the cost of everything is expanding. So now it's a $2.5 million project, which is very hard. But what I will say is it's made me very proud of our team that we have just kept going. Now, we have cried. We have had hard moments. We've wanted to give up because it feels like our goal keeps being moved out. But I see it as success because we just keep going. We're now over 1.8 million to the $2.5 million goal. We're constantly connecting to new people, new businesses, new grant opportunities to make this vision come to life. And what I love most about this vision and this campaign and its success is the impact will be a local impact, right? We're creating opportunities right here, but it will really touch every aspect of what New Creation does to counteract human trafficking. So the impact of having more space will connect more jobs all around the world. And so that impact is limitless. We are very excited to I see what we've done with the space that we've had. I am so excited to look back, when we're 10 years down the road, to look back and figure out the hard in this moment is what set in place the impact of, the last decade. And so, yeah, we are not there yet. So we haven't met goal, but I still find it as to be one of the most relevant successes of New Creation's history right now.
And we want to help you in every way possible with that campaign, Sabrina. So give us the name of your campaign.
Yeah, so this is, we're calling it our Vivid Vision. So it's the New Creation Barn Expansion. And we have some information on our website. So if people want to learn more about that campaign or they want to join us and be a part, they can hop on our website and find out more.
Oh, thank you for that. Now, the young professionals of today, switching gears just a little bit again, kind of with our last question likely, but our young professionals that are coming into the workforce, or maybe they're thinking about what do they want to do in the workforce, and they are really our future leaders. They are the generation that will be leading the world for our grandchildren. So what advice would you give to aspiring young professionals really looking to advance in their careers and become successful leaders?
Yeah, so I love working specifically with college and high school age students because they are motivated and energized, right? As we get older, our energy starts going down. So I love seeing the energy and the creative passions that our upcoming generation has. The best piece of advice that I would give is find something that you really love to do or something that you're really passionate about, because that is what has kept me in the long-term anti-trafficking movement. Frankly, this is not an easy issue to stay in, but because I love the work that we do and because I'm passionate about the issue, I can deal with a lot of the hard, right? There's a lot of things that we don't want to do in our jobs, a lot of things that's really hard to overcome. And without the passion and the drive, I'm just not sure I would have had the staying power. And so I think if you can tap into a passion and what you love to do, and it has always blown my mind, what we get to do here at New Creation. We're mobilizing our community. We're tapping into our creative abilities, right? Of all these creative ways that we counteract human trafficking. But I think what actually is what draws people to us people say all the time, I can tell you guys are so passionate. And so I think our passion is what makes people really want to come close to a really hard issue. And so I think when you can lead from passion, it really encourages people to join you and it helps you stay. And so, yeah, figuring out what that is. And I wish there was an easy, like 1, 2, 3 step by step of how to do that. But I think you just have to really you have to search and seek yourself, and you've got to look at the world, the community, the place that you're in, and figure out what is that, and is that a business, is that a nonprofit, is that leading alongside somebody else, is that supporting? But yeah, passion is the thing that has really been vital in my leadership.
And you are leading the charge.
Trying to.
Thank you, Sabrina. So you mentioned that our listeners can find you at find more information about New Creation at the New Creation website. Is that New Creation? You want to give us that website?
Yeah, that's great. So Cindy, you can find us at newcreationva.org. They can also follow us on all the social media platforms. We're New Creation VA. And so if people want to connect to us, if they want to find out more, those are the spots. Head to our website. They can sign up for our newsletter and stay engaged with us that way.
Sabrina, this has been amazing. We appreciate you. We want you to get tremendous value anytime you're with us, and especially as a partner and executive panelist of our leadership event. So in closing, for anyone listening to this, we offer a complimentary access to a resource that Wes and I created. There are over 100 leadership lessons in this platform developed and delivered by Wes and I. If you would like to try that out, complimentary, let's see, shoot us an email at admin@dove-development.net. Again, over 100 leadership lessons. This gives you a 45-day all-access pass at no cost. So if you want continuing education credits, leadership lessons, or for whatever reason, shoot us a message. If not, that's fine too. You know you can find us here on our podcast. Have a great day, and God bless.